just in case we needed it, I pulled a news story today, and it is really about the depravity of humanity, the unleashing of the demonic and other watch or whatever it is upon people, so they become even more depraved because they don't walk in truth. They aren't girded with that belt. They aren't strengthened. Their innards, their whole body is not strengthened with that. And you heard me mention it as in our pre-show when we were talking, but it's this is the news article, folks. If you don't think eating clean is important, then you're probably going to fall on this someday, because a Swedish behavioral scientist has suggested that it may be necessary to turn to cannibalism and start eating humans in order to save the planet. Yeah, this whole news article, I pulled it off of InfoWars. Yeah, InfoWars. So I was shocked at just, it's a shocker to even hear that. But when you keep going down and down and down in society and the way you think, you debase yourself, it's not really that far. Once you start falling, you fall. It's a cycle. But the scientist on Swedish television, he came to talk about an event around the food of the future. This is the food of the future, folks. Your humans. Yeah. Magnus Söderlund said he would be holding seminars on the necessity, I said necessity, folks, of consuming human flesh in order to stop climate change. Environmentalists blame that the meat and farming industry is what's causing the warming of the earth. Oh my goodness. But again, if you've lost truth, then you'll believe any lie that comes along, right, folks? According to Söderlund, a potential fix would be the solution of eating dead bodies. Yeah. And one of the biggest obstacles, he said, of course, is that, well, the obstacle to this proposal would be the taboo nature of corpses and the fact that many would see it as defiling the deceased. Oh my goodness. He said, well, people are slightly conservative when it comes to eating things so that they're not accustomed to, such as cadavers, but it's suggesting basically that pretty much you'll get used to it. Anyway, the discussion took place at the same time. They used a graphic visual for this. They had human hands on forks during the discussion. Yeah, that's how depraved things are becoming. They also said there's a second alternative, is that we'll be eating bugs, but don't eat meat anymore. Well, I guess what they want to do then, because get rid of the animals that God's created for us to eat. I have no idea. Well, actually, if you're going to go down that path, then you might as well get rid of if you're so deceived like that, then you might as well get rid of anything that breathes. Well, I think that's sort of what they want to do anyway. The powers that be want to eliminate most of the human population. But you say, well, this is so out there. But it's not. This is real people. Alex Jones does his research. He doesn't just put things on there that are incorrect. He does his research on this, and we see these things that are proposed, and eventually we see them come to being. Maybe not that year, maybe not that week, but we see it happen. And here we have people. Yeah, it's across the pond. It's over there in Sweden, but they're saying eating human flesh is the answer. And how far away is that? If you're hungry, we've heard of people in places that are hungry that do that. And now they cut off the food, and all of a sudden you're consuming dead bodies and it becomes the norm. How far away is that really? If they're already proposing it, some loonies out there are going to just jump on it and go with it. And the spirits that are being released, as Daryl said, even in the lightning and in other things, you have CERN, you have so many things, as well as those that already remain. When you turn yourself over to the enemy, you'll probably do it. And I just find it disgusting and awful, but it shows where we are. We've lost truth. Joe?
Yeah, we have. And you know what? We're just repeating history, because if you look throughout history, even during the time of the Roman Empire, and when it started to go downhill, the people started starving, and cannibalism did show forth there. And what, Soylent Green came to mind, but also what comes to mind is, I don't know if you guys remember when he talked about, and it's been mentioned, the many caskets that have been brought forth that are sitting in different places and stuff. Well, my thought process was, okay, they're thinking of using humans as to be consumed. Well, let's get rid of the people that are disabled first and foremost, because they're a hindrance to society, and we can use them and butcher them and serve them up. Why not? I'm just thinking in their thought process. Then we got people that are naysayers that that are going against the government or going against whatever we're talking about. Let's go ahead and get rid of them, and eventually the elite will have what they want. This is what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to get rid of us, and they're finding any excuse to get rid of us. And there's so many people that are believing this, and they're not taking the time to research this. They're just sitting there watching, as my dad calls it, the boob tube, listening to these people who are sitting there with a clipboard or even what do you call those things in front of them, reading a script that they are to read. These news media people have become actors and actresses.
They are actors.
And
actresses, yeah.
Also, we're believing actors and actresses of what they have to say, believing that they're really intelligent. Oh, well, Tom, yes, I'm using Tom Cruise as an example. It's not that I'm against Tom Cruise or anything. Okay. I want to make that clear. Tom, don't send me an email. Anyway, the Tom Cruise says, well, I think eating humans is wonderful. We should do it. Everybody's going to go, well, Tom said it's good, so we should do it.
And by the way, everybody, Tom didn't say that. She's just using an example. He did not say that.
So. Yeah, so I want to make that, thank you. We want to make that clear, perfectly clear, because I don't need all of a sudden I'm on CNN. Look what she said, Tom Cruise said. No, I'm just using him as an example because so many people follow the Kardashians or Tom Cruise or whoever, Angelina Jolie. Oh, look how wonderful she is. So let's follow what she's doing. And this is sad because we are not following truth. We are being deceived. A lot of people, even that claim to be Christians or even Messianics or Hebrew roots or even Jews, are being deceived because they don't have that belt of truth on. And they need to put that belt of truth on. So that I can go on with this topic. I want to hear what.
I don't think he's.
Love to hear what he has to say.
Oh, well, there he is. Everybody, it's Mark David Smith. Hello.
You're muted.
I think he's just moving his lips. Ba ba ba. Watermelon, watermelon.
Watermelon, watermelon. I don't like these big. I can't get it to go different.
Turn that around.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I like this better. It's up too close. You can see,
the bags.
Anyway, huh?
I said you can see my bags.
Bugs. No bugs on me. But yeah, you said Soylent Green. Sandi, are you familiar with Soylent Green?
What?
Are you familiar with Soylent Green?
No.
Well, Sandi mentioned it in her deal there. There's actually a movie called Soylent Green, and it is the exact same scenario you're talking about.
Really?
This movie has got to be at least 30 years old. At least.
It's almost like Logan's Run. Remember?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but no, Soylent Green was literally about the exact subject you're talking about. And so it's been around for a long time. Stories like this have come up countless numbers of times, and I don't really think that they do follow through. I think I don't know. I mean, I could probably say the same thing 20 years ago about the LGBTQ movement, and say there's never going to be that possibility, and here we are. Another thing, my only other thought is that because just like with everything else in our lifestyle, we don't go check out the reality of it. I mean, if somebody teaches us something out of Torah or about the kingdom of God, how often do we really go check that out, but only to find out later that whatever they taught was skewed a little bit? It really wasn't that. I mean, look at us. All of us, I mean, to an extent, 95% of everybody that's in the Messianic lifestyle was totally committed to that Christian lifestyle at one time. And if you just spoke against everything that we believed within Christianity, we just smacked you upside the head with a 2x4. There's no possibility that we were going to walk away from our Christian walk. And it's the same thing that we see now, is we don't really go check things out for ourselves, but until we do is the point when we really ought to be believing or not believing this thing. And so to accept things for face value and news stories and things, of course, we're learning more and more about news stories. My deal is that this could already be happening and we'd never know it, because that's my point, in that we don't go check things out. We can read labels on the side of cans, or packages of food, and get a general idea. I mean, those of us that eat kosher, we do this on a regular basis. It is our lifestyle to read labels of ingredients anymore. I mean, it's who we are. Or we only buy certain things now, so we don't have to read the labels anymore. But I'm just saying, how would we know?
It reminds me, Mark, of that movie Fried Green Tomatoes all those years ago.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't see it, but
yeah, I saw it. I was forced to watch it.
You were forced to watch it, but they cooked up that guy and they served him with chili.
Yeah.
And nobody knew it. In fact, they were saying, man, this is the best chili we've ever had.
It was the best barbecue.
Oh,
And
barbecue.
Yeah.
It was barbecue,
police
not
officer,
chili, barbecue.
police officer sitting there eating that. And
but that's my point exactly. Is that because we are now in a society where I'm even going to say probably 90%, and depending on who you are and how much food you produce yourself, probably on an average 85 to 95%, if not 100%, is bought from a store or bought from the person down the street. That, I mean, you don't know. I mean, how much does Walmart know?
Yep.
What was it? What was it? It was like we watched the documentary yesterday. Did you know that there is gold in your iPhone? In every cell phone there's gold in there. Did you guys know that?
I think I'd heard that before.
Okay, we watched a 45-minute documentary on the fact that iPhone's gold comes from Colombia, and they are required by federal law to document where they buy every single component that's within their products. In other words, they have to keep track of it, where they get everything. And gold is mined by such third, fourth, fifth class people around the world that it's almost next to impossible to keep track of that. Now, we all know diamond mines in Africa, South America. Diamond mines have been run by people that do slave labor, and they kill you if you don't go along with whatever the deal is. And we also know that Colombia is the same way with cocaine. Gold is now the #1 export of Colombia, not cocaine.
Wow. Didn't know that.
But guess who is the #1 buyer of both cocaine and gold? You know it is. United States. The gold mines are being run by the same thing as what they had with the diamond mines. It's slave labor, it's child labor, the middlemen that get the gold from the mines to the last place that's sold to Apple Corporation. Those people, if they don't go along or don't pay the money that they need to pay for the processing between, are killed. And they, on this documentary, they even interviewed people from the company. Say, oh yeah, if they don't pay, I come to them. They don't pay me this, then they're dead.
Wow.
But this is where Apple gets, and Samsung, several other companies get it, but their documents only have to show how far they go to get this product. They don't have to keep saying where the actual mine is. It's just who they bought it from, which is a legitimate company. Now, where the legitimate company gets it from is a whole nother story. In other countries, they don't have to document it. My point is, it's the same thing with food. How does Walmart know where 2, 3, 4 people down the road, what their cows are being fed? Are the cows being fed other cows?
Right.
We were just
True.
talking about that the other
Yeah.
day. You
It's
know?
true.
So there's your point. There's your deal is that we now live in a society where we could be eating Soylent Green. We could be eating people and never know it. Wonder where all the sickness comes from? How much processed food are you buying from companies where you don't have a clue where it comes from? And neither does the company that sells you the food.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that we claim to be foods, not even food in the first place. And today we do have places in the world that they do still do cannibalism. And it is people starving. They're going to do whatever if they're walking in the flesh, they're going to go for what they want to fill their stomachs. And some people even have filled their stomachs with dirt, mind you. So they're just following the flesh.
Well,
Don't crash an airplane in the side of a mountain somewhere where
Yeah, I've
you're going
seen
to
a
be
movie
there
like that.
for several days. You know, that's how I lost my finger. I crashed into the side of a mountain, and there was only 3 of us left, and we don't. Never mind.
oh my goodness, Mark.
Vienna sausage, right?
That's fake news right there. Not what we said. Mark's finger was not eaten by people. Well, guys, where's the belt of truth? Well, hopefully we have it on. And if not, it's time to get it on. That's all I can say. This whole show has been about that and our perception of what truth is. And so you guys, you need to find the truth. Where do you find it? You find it in the Word of God. You find it in His Word from Genesis to Revelation, not just Matthew or Matthew to Revelation, or some characterize it even less than that. You abide in the truth. You live in the truth. You become part of that. You walk in the Spirit. You walk in the fullness of His Word, into the Torah. And in that, you do that. I love what I believe it might have been Lena said in the chat room, that there's a whole community, a whole village in Argentina where everyone keeps Sabbath, eats clean, and generally obeys God's commandments, and they reap many blessings. Let's be reapers of blessings. Why? That's not our goal. Our goal is to be intimate with our Messiah, Yeshua. But with that, when we know the truth, then there's a result. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today.